All right, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Bashim, Wakar, Kwadash. All right, I just wanted to go through. This is just a little sit down that it's been on my mind for a couple days, day or so, and I thought it was very interesting, and that all this information is coming out. I mean, it's been out, but hasn't been out in the way of bringing it out. So I thought I'd put some a little bit together, man. So this right here, as you tell from the title, we give double honors to our apostle elders, which are the apostle elders that rule the great millstone, that are doing the work, and then to hopeful elect out there on the four corners of the planet Earth. Keep faith, keep watching, keep pushing. Where the finish line is ahead, we just got to go through some things to reach it, man. And I pray Yahweh Shem Yahshua give us the spirit to maintain in those days. So back to the subject of today. The title is Israelites, Negroes, and Hitler's Army. All right. So I'm gonna share the screen real quick, and I'm gonna bring out a couple articles, not articles, more or less just pictures and different things like that. First, I'm gonna start with this right here, because we know if a lot of you brothers have checked this information out, that Hitler knew who the actual Jews were. He didn't persecute, because Hitler was a Khazar himself. Okay, he was the son of a Rothschild. All right, but that's information that is hidden through history, because it's an agenda. So I'm gonna zoom in on this right here, and then I'm gonna read this. It says Negroes are the real Jews. Okay, and you see Hitler sitting there, and we're gonna read this this paragraph right here, and it says. Hitler's personal appraised a new German movie when the Führer complained that the film exposing the Nazi line were too scarce. Kobel rushed a pair of anti-Semitic pictures into production. Anti-Semitic because they were going after these fake Jews. But it was all set up to establish the land of Israel, the land of Palestine, what they call Palestine. All right. It says in one segment of the Nazi instructional film, I can't see that. I think it's right. It says the genetic heritage of the Jews is periodically traced to Oriental Negro. See that? Negro near Asia. Let me read that again. Traced to Oriental Negro. All right. Just like these so-called Edomites today, they call us Hamites, but we're not Hamites. We're Israelites. Okay. Hence, the film concluded the Jew is a bastard below the villainous title character of Jew Souza, a violently anti-Semitic melodrama spins Semitic with its kernel. All right. So when we go back to this, these photos, and they show you the photos. This is the paragraph I just read, and then this is the photo that's next to it. And you see Negroes that's up there. All right. And he says bastard, okay, or bow for it, okay, or bow to roar or something like that. But yeah, it's showing you that Hitler knew who the Israelites were, okay? And it wasn't the so-called Jews over there, man. All right, it's the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is a well-known, it should be a well-known fact. But what I wanted to go into today was, it says, African Nazi Hitler's 15,000 Jewish army multicultural Third Reich. Because they tell you in history that he was a super racist, but even when you see in the Olympics when Jesse Owens came over there and did what he did, because Hitler was trying to establish the so-called Aryan race, to say that was the chosen race, but he knew who the people of God were, of Yahweh Shem Yahushua were. All right, he knew it so much that he even had them in his army. Okay. I'm just going to go through these photos and show you, Akim, that Hitler, look, these are actual to show you these are German infantry. You see there. Look at that. Look at this Jake. This is German. This is German troops, German army. You see that Jake right there? All right. He had Israelites in his army. Okay. At the time they were being called Negroes. But I'm gonna try to let me zoom in real quick so we can get a better, so I can actually zoom in better. You see that? Look at that Jake, man. You can clearly see that's the Israelite. He look like he can come from Compton, man. You know, this is it. And you see the pin on his collar. That's a German pin. All right. So we're gonna go through these pictures and show you. He even had, see, look right here. Let me go back one. See, look right there. That's a Jake right there. All right. So Israel's been everywhere, man. We're scattered among the people. He even had Gooks in there. He had Arabs in there. Okay. But main point I'm pointing out is Jake. Look at this Jake right here. You clearly see that's an Israelite, man. That ain't no Hamite. That's an Israelite. I mean, just because we know that, Esau uses Jakes in the army, just like the Israelite that took down Jerusalem knew he was an Israelite and still did it. Okay. But I'm just telling you that we're spread out through the four corners, man. Four corners of the planet Earth everywhere. All right. And Hitler knew who the real Israelites were. All right. You see this Jake right there. That was a Jake sitting right back here. See him? With guns and everything in the German army. So we're going to go through. Yup, even had Arabs. And even some of them could be Jake. But check this picture out. Look at that. Come on, man. This is historical facts that they don't bring out, man. They don't bring out. Let's keep going. Oh, there's a bunch more, man. I mean, if you like him, can see oh yeah, look at that. Look at this. Look, you got a Jake right here. You got some Arabs over here, a Jake back here. Jake's all down here. Look at all these Israelites that are sitting in the Hitler army. Why don't they publish this more and let you know about this history more? All right. Even though we know that's a bugged out a regime that was trying to take over in his mindset, but he knew because he was in antiquity. He was into antiquities. That's why you see movies of the Third Reich going after the Holy Grail and different things of that nature, man. Okay, so they've been known who we are through history and through time. This is just more proof. Okay, it's one to know the factor of him saying that we're Israelites, but then to see him indoctrinating Israelites in his army and putting them in the ranks, that's showing you that he believed it. It wasn't just he said it; he believed it and knew it, and knew that they had that was a strong people to have in his army. All right, so let's keep going. I'm just gonna try to point out some of the main pictures here. Yeah, he had the Gooks in there too. So Jakes were heavy in Germany at that time, man. Really heavy. Look, you even had the Israelite boy in the little, I can't forget the name of the little boy ranks of Germany, but there you clearly see that the Jakes in right there, man. So hey, man, Israel is everywhere. So that's why confusion of face, man. A lot of them Germans over there, man, are confusion of face. I'm gonna try to find the one with the boy. Hold on. Yeah, you can clearly see here. Clearly see here. I'm gonna try to find I seen one where it's a kid and his dad. Lord willing, I can find it. If I can find it, I'm gonna click on it. Cause I'm show you right there. Look at this. See, look at that. That's that boy's daddy. I'm that boy's pappy. Hold on. Let me click back. I'm true. Hey, look at that, man. That's his daddy on this side, and then this is his son, and that's the mama. So that's a Jake, man. So imagine if this Jake goes with another white woman and pops her, and then his son pops another white woman. You ain't gonna be able to tell, man. Okay, but the Israelites are everywhere out here, man. They're everywhere. Okay, but I was just showing you these are historical photos to show that the confusion of face, man, is in every single aspect of the planet Earth, man. Even in places you would not think. So some of those so-called racist KKK German type cats, they go back to Israelites. Some of them, they just don't realize their lineage, man. You know, the dumb Americans here, the six-pack Israelites, they don't consider these facts, man. They don't know that there was Negroes fighting in the so-called German army, but they'll rock that swastika and tell about niggas this and niggas that, but you don't know that niggas help fight for your so-called cause, man. You know? But this is different facts. This right here hits home. This picture says a lot, man. You can clearly see that's that boy's daddy. You can clearly see that, man. All right. So now I'm gonna go into some scriptures. I think that hits it. And there's some more videos. This is Black Africans in Nazi Germany around 1930. There's different photos of Jake that was in Germany at that time. You know, look. So them Germans, man, got heavy Jake presence in there, man. Excuse me. Let me check this. Let me check the actual live stream. Let me get some of these precepts on here. This is that Joshua 2:9. It says, "Thou believest that there is no power, is one power. Thou doest well. The devil also believe and tremble." Man, that's the same thing. The things that are coming out right now is on a whole nother level, man. You know, this thing is getting ready to hit big time, man, because confusion of face is going to come in. All these different aspects of the truth is going to be a prophecy. We're in the year of prophecy. So the confusion of face is going to come in heavy, man. So you got these Hitler guys, these so-called KKK and all these German right. They don't realize that Jake was in their very army that they're repping, man. All right. So I'm going to go through this verses and bring out some precepts and close on out. And you, Akim, dive in. I'm posting the link, or you see the title of the video, look it up, you know, and bring the information out, man. You know, this is a cut to those so-called Edomites talking that racist, that Third Reich shit, because Hitler himself knew who the Israelites were, and he even had them in his army, man. Okay, this is Isaiah 11:12. "And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth." And who are we looking at right here? That's a Judite, okay, and his son. And we don't know how his line looks now. We don't know if this boy went and had a son, and his son went and had sons. So we don't know how he looks, how that line looks, but that's a clear Judite right there. Okay? So the Lord is going to gather his elect and chosen. And it even says Judah, because Judah is everywhere through the slave trade. All right? And that was also a very strategic move by the Lord, because now how can they destroy all of Israel? Because they don't even know how Israel looks like. There's no way you can destroy the seed of Israel, of Yahweh, Jacob, if you don't know who they look like. Now it's like they're camouflaged. The Lord camouflaged us. You see how it says a false balance is an abomination, man? So the Lord forced us to be confusion of face, but also camouflaged us from the enemy. So we don't know how we gonna come, man. Like John Shaft, like the apostles always coin, man. Okay, so the Lord is beautiful, man. He camouflaged us in among these nations, man. While we were going through our hardships and going through our punishment, imagine if every Israelite looked like what an Israelite supposedly so-called should look like. We'd be easily spotted out and destroyed. But now we look like them. We look like the same ones that are persecuting us. You see how cold the Lord is, man? The Lord is awesome, man. You know, you gotta see, you gotta pull out words like you can't even describe it, man. The Most High thoughts are on a whole nother dimension, man. Literally and physically, it literally, man. And it says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together to disperse the Judah from the four corners of the earth. All right. And you seeing that, man. And it's going to intensify. That's why we gotta get our minds ready for that, man. You know, that's why it says it's not for us to judge. The angels will sift them out. But like it says, if they come and they accept it, you know, you don't know how they're gonna come though. It's in Psalm 60:4. Thou hast given a banner to them that fear thee, that it may be displayed because of the truth. And this is a part of that banner, man. This is the truth. That Negroes were in the army, Hitler's army, man. Okay? And Hitler knew who the so-called Israelites were. What you call Israelites, man, is you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And it says that they, beloved, may be delivered, saved with the right hand, and hear me. Yahweh has spoken in his holiness. I will rejoice. I will divide Shechem and Mit out of the valley of Sokah. That's it on that. But the main point was in 4 and 5. This is Psalms, and I'm gonna check the comment board after this, Akim. So if you got some precepts, I'll get them before I close, man. But this is just one of those quick hits, and, you know, in the spirit. And this is Psalms 107:3. And gathered them out of the lands from the east and from the west, from the north and from the south. They wandered in the wilderness in a solitary way. They found no city to dwell in, because we've been a scattered people. But the Lord is going to gather us from all of these places on the planet Earth that we don't know how we're going to look like, man. All right? We don't know how we're going to come. So we in the year of prophecy. So this thing is going to take place soon, man. It's already happening on a wide scale, but it's going to intensify through the spirit, man. You know, because Israel's waking up. The Lord is he's going to throw a different monkey wrench in what people's thoughts may think. This is Psalms 147:2. The Lord doth build up Jerusalem. He gathered together the outcasts of Israel. He healeth the broken in heart and buildeth up and bindeth up their wounds. He telleth it says he telleth the numbers of the stars. He calleth them by their names. Great is our Lord and great of power. His understanding is infinite. See that? Just like I was saying earlier, his thinking is on a whole nother dimension, man. Okay. All right. So let me check this comment board. I think that's a good scripture to end on, man. You know, good scripture. Let me see here. And it's let me get yeah, Esau's buried a whole bunch of stuff, man. This is Isaiah 16:4. Let mine outcast dwell with thee, Moab. Be thou a covert to them from the face of the spoiler. For they extortioners is at an end, the spoiler cease, and the oppressor is consumed. And that's what's getting ready to take place, man. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is getting ready to take the spoiler out of the way, man, which is Esau. But through the camouflaging of the Israelites, they don't know how to spoil us, man. Just like the Lord put us in Moab, he's now put us in different nations across the four corners of the earth to cover us. Because I always call Babylon, it's a game reserve, man. You know, when they put lions in a certain area so they don't be hunted out, this is our prison camp and our game reserve, man. Because the nations can't totally destroy us. Imagine if we were all sitting in the interior of Africa still, in West Africa, and we were all setting up villages and living there. Man, they drop a Moab on us, man. You know, and try to take us out completely to upset that prophecy. But through the Most High camouflaging us, you see how it works both ways, man. Even in our punishment, there's still glory in it, man. Okay, the Lord is cold, man. I'm just thinking about it and how deep the Most High is, man, and it blows your mind, man. All right, so let me get this. This is Lamentations. This is from Mahar. This is Lamentations 2:15. It says, all that passed by clapped their hands at thee. They hissed and wagged their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? Come on, man. That's that because we fell, man. We fell and we're in a spirit of downtrodden, man. But the Most High is getting ready to exalt us, man, after these hard times, man. So, Lord willing, this was edifying to you, Akim, man. And may Yahweh Shem Shai keep these prophecies coming, this information coming out, and bringing us closer to that goal, man. Oh man, I gotta get that. Hey, this GMS Chicago sit down. It says, for as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways. So we got put into slavery just because the punishment, but also it camouflaged us, man. Because now we're in our punishment, but yet still we can't be done away with because Esau don't know where Jacob's at, man. We ain't all gonna look like John Shaft, man. We ain't always gonna look like full Gadites, full Ephraimites, okay? We're gonna look like the other nations. Therefore, you cannot take Israel out, man. It's impossible unless you take out the whole earth, just to be sure, man. And that ain't gonna happen, man, because Yahweh Shem Shai says the earth shall remain forever, man. And it says, because they know exactly who we are, and that's right, man. So, hey, man, I say it again, man. Hey, all praise unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Wahar, Quadash, man. You know, Rakar, Quadash, man. This spirit is beautiful, man. What's happening now, man, in our lifetime is beautiful. We getting ready to see some things, man, from Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. It's going to blow our minds, man. So, hey, prepare, Akim. Hey, I'm going to post the links after I get done up or it finishes ending this broadcast. So the links will be there. And Lord willing, man, this is edifying. Shalom to you, Akim. Shalom and keep faith, man.
First, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, who are teaching this truth in sincerity. And shout out to Akim that's coming into this truth and going out in the four quarters to teach this truth. You know, risking lives to do so, as Brother Malcolm always mentions to give credits to, you know, because again, you know, we are risking our lives going out there, you know, to teach the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which differs with everything that we've been taught, because we've been taught that, you know, we're just, you know, every byword except being an Israelite, you know, so we're declaring this truth out there, because this is what Esau's been trying to hide, and you know, such as another, and I'm just going to combine clips because that's what I do within Revelation Times channel anyway. So, you know, and I just kind of want to get everybody who's on this channel confused in the face, ready to get used to the way in Revelation Times is done. You know, kind of where I show other brothers' videos and I edify everybody. You know, and yet I bring it all into one big subject and I title it, or I take a title that's already there, which becomes almost the subject of the whole video. Or sometimes the subject can be so small, but yet everything sort of expands on it, you know. Because, you know, this happens when you're re-uploading videos, because that's what we are also to do, is to re-upload videos and to edify each other. So, anyhow, Esau has been made bare in the Valley of Jehosaphat, which Brother Malcolm had done a video on. And so I just want to, I'm not just going to include that video, but I just want to touch on it a little bit, because yeah, he has been exposed. He's been made bare over there because of the fact that, well, of course, we're talking about Syria. You know, that this is no mistake. Syrian girl, press TV, Allah Ibrahim, the Syria News in English, what used to be Syria News in English, but now in the other languages, Esau's being exposed for everything. This false narrative that he's fighting the war on ISIS. And we know that ISIS is really the Israeli Secret Intelligence Services, and that Basra being the actual key place of Amalek, Edom, which the Amalekites are the ones that are wrecking havoc over there, you know. Call themselves Jews and, you know, pretty much supporting terrorists, and now Gomer has entered into the battle, so I'm just sort of following that up. And then, of course, the other false narrative that they like to push to try to, you know, show that they're the Jews, but we know that they're not. They're the bastards, the Amalekites, and Hitler knew this, and they try to convince everybody that Hitler was a white supremacist and that he hated all races, right? Except for his own, the Aryan race, right? But yet, in his militia, you find our people and gooks and everything else. And speaking of which, I'll also throw this there, because they always try to say that before, you know, because, you know, I kind of, when I was learning history and all that, I'm like, well, Hitler at least had the respect of his people. I mean, how did he have such a militia and people that were willing to fight and die for him? You know, I'd always thought when they were telling us their own revised history that Hitler was this murdering bastard, you know, and that he was a racist. But yet, how do they explain this one? That Hitler united himself with Japan, because Japan's supposed to be an enemy of the United States as well, right? You know, they attacked Pearl Harbor, which was a false flag also in itself. You know, because these Zionists who call themselves Jews set it up that way, you know, to draw America, Basra, into the battle, you know, because that's who Amalek is Basra. And before they invaded Palestine, you know, their main dwelling place was America, you know, and so they eventually got into the land, you know. So thus, you know, they want to push that false narrative that Hitler, you know, was a quote-unquote racist, that he was a bigot, but yet he commended Japan for resisting the New World Order. And he was anti-New World Order, just like Bashar al-Assad and Saddam Hussein were anti-New World Order. They were against the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, which we also know that Hitler was related. Not trying to glorify Hitler, but just pointing out the facts here. So anyhow, and so Esau has been made bare in the Valley of Jehosaphat. You know, because all these facts are coming out about Hitler and about, you know, the fact that these Khazars are not the real Jews. It's being exposed, and more, it's becoming more known to the entire world that blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the real Israelites, and that they're over here in America but have been scattered abroad among the four corners of the earth. So you have confusion of faces, people like me and others that come out of there. You have Germans who are really go back to being an Israelite, you know, going back to being a Jake as well, you know, because we've been scattered through the four corners of the earth, so confusion of faces will be among that, you know, because our fathers go back, you know, and you try to talk about that to a bug out or to a two-thirds, man, they don't even want to hear that. They still want to stick with these philosophies, you know. Eating of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thus eating Esau's philosophies. You know, so I'm going to read out of Jeremiah 49, and there's typos in here as well, so I'm going to read it correctly, because I'm going to say this over and over again, because these goddamn Edomites don't like it. They get on the comments, and they tell me that I'm an Edomite, you know, that I am Edom. You know, I had a comment on there, and I'm not going to give the person any credit or anything, but you can see it on the prior video, 2018. And this is on the End Revelation Times channel, the 2018, you know, trying to remember. Oh, about how 50 Cent is sold out. Yeah, someone got on the comment and said that I'm an Edomite. Well, you know, their Cesare Borgia Christ delusion has been exposed, is what I replied back. You know, thus saying that I'm an Edomite, but yet I'm a confusion of face, see? And so, you know, the two-thirds and the wicked ain't going to understand that, because we're exposing the fact that their fake Jesus, Cesare Borgia, this whole thing's been nothing more than a hoax. It's been a hoax, you know, and that's what the other thing that they try to claim about the Holocaust, that 6 million of them Amalekites, fake-ass Jews, were murdered. And that's not so. You know, those are all faked, you know, but they'll keep on putting out movies like Schindler's List and other stuff to convince you that Hitler was, you know, quote-unquote, a racist, but yet at the same time, he had people of all races in his militia. How do you explain that? And how do you explain him having an alliance with Italy and with Japan, a.k.a. the Axis forces? How do you explain that? Because Japanese are definitely not white, and Sicilians and Italians, they go back to being Israelites. So this has been nothing more than a hoax, you know, as well, you know. Pearl Harbor was a false flag, just like 9/11 was a false flag to get this false narrative of the war on terror when the terrorists are the goddamn Edomites. And I'm going to say this again and again, you know, about you fucking terrorists. The Syrian is my brother. The Egyptian is my brother. But you bastards, you Amalekites, you goddamn Edomites are not my brother. You are fucking terrorists. You're the hammer of the whole earth. You're the hammer whore. And this hammer of the whole earth is about to be destroyed. And so I'm going to read out Jeremiah chapter 49. Verse 1, concerning the Edomites, thus saith Yahweh, hath Israel no sons, hath he no heir? When doth their king inherit Gad, and his people dwell in his cities? There's no way this could be talking about the Ammonites or Ammon, because of the fact that they didn't do that to our people, but these Edomites did. They destroyed Gad, the troop that overcame Gad. That's talking about the Edomites, you know, so we know that this is not talking about the Ammonites. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will cause an alarm to be heard in Rabbah of the Edomites, and it shall be desolate heap, and her daughters shall be burned with fire. Then shall Israel be heir unto them that were his heirs, saith Yahweh. Again, you know, this is talking about when Esau, Edom, is destroyed. Because if you go down a little bit, it even says it by name. So I know those are typo errors. Verse 7, concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. And thus, that is, you know, when he comes back on what Zechariah referred to as the flying scroll, the flying roll. Verse 10, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. And again, this is about how everybody knows, the entire world knows, including over here, that this has been nothing more than a false narrative, that they're fighting a war on ISIS, they're fighting a war on terror. They know that this is nothing more than a goddamn hoax. It's just another way for the Amalekites to go in there and take the land from the people, because they want to build an oil pipeline. You know, it's no mistake a Syrian girl, a la Abraham, Syria News in English, RT, Press TV, has been exposed to this. This is Bible prophecy. This valley of Jehosaphat, which is in the land of Syria and goes through Iraq, you know, the supposed Islamic state, you know, in Iraq and Syria, but it's really the Israeli state in Iraq and Syria, Israeli Secret Intelligence Services, because that's who ISIS and ISIL is, Israeli State Levant, which refers to the whole area. And here it goes again, verses 12 and 13. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, they were judged, was not to drink of the cup, have surely drunken. Thus, you know, when Esau put us in captivity, we were not supposed to drink of that, but they made us drink it. And art thou, he shall go altogether unpunished. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. You bastards, you're going into slavery. Again, the Syrian is my brother. The Egyptian is my brother. But you bastards, you ain't shit to me. You ain't fucking shit. And your shit has been exposed. For I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation. That's America. Because that's the dwelling place of Esau. A reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual wastes. And again, you know, verse 17, also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. That is talking about America, Babylon the Great. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall son of man dwell in it. Because we're going to be returned back to our land. You gutter rats that are over there, you're going to be destroyed in this thermonuclear fire. As well, 200 million nuclear missiles. In verse 20, therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh, that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make habitations desolate with them. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall, and at the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. So, you know, all these armies, the mountain of troops, which means Armageddon, in the valley of Jehosaphat, this is all biblical prophecy. You know, and we definitely know that, you know, the Edomites have conquered Hamath and Arpad, which is, you know, pretty much the Middle East and Northern Africa. Verse 23, concerning Damascus, Hamath is confounded. Hamath, you know, again, that's the Israeli state in Levant, ISIL, you know, because it's the Israelis that is Hamath Gog, you know, but they're going to be confounded, you know. For they have heard evil tidings. They are faint-hearted. There is sorrow in the sea. It cannot be quiet. Damascus is waxed feeble, and turneth herself to flee, and fear hath seized on her. Anguish and sorrows have taken her as a woman in travail. Again, that's what these goddamn Amalekites are doing to Syria, have been doing to Syria, have been exposed for this false war on Syria. You know, how's the city of praise not left, the city of my joy? And I will kindle a fire in the wall of Damascus, verse 27, and it shall consume the palaces of Ben-Hadad. And Ben-Hadad means pretty much Syria, because Ben-Hadad is considered the leader of Syria. You know, and again, you know, pretty much these Amalekites are the ones behind everything. High place of Idumea, Edom, Esau, the so-called white man, are these Amalekites, these Rothschilds and Rockefellers. And they're being exposed by other Edomites, you know, and that's kind of funny. Esau's been made bare. You got a lot of truth seekers out there that are Edomites, and they're exposing this whole thing. Why? Because Amalek was greedy and did not want to share with his brothers. And so, you know, again, you know, I hope this has been edifying, and to everything else, man, I'm glad I'm a thorn in Esau's side. That means I'm doing my job. So, fuck you, Esau. You're not my brother. You're a bastard, and the Syrian is my brother. You know, Syrian girl, Abraham, you know, all the Syrians that have been murdered, you know, like you have that child who says, give us peace, you know. I don't know if you've seen those, but, you know, pretty much all the reasons they want to bring down Syria to bring in their New World Order and why the New World Order hates Syria, you've been exposed. You've been made bare. And it is the Most High, Yahweh, that's doing it. So I hope this has been edified. And shout out to Akiem. Keep watching for these events. As this being 2018, the year of prophecy. Shalom.
This is Syrian Girl. I want to talk to you about why the New World Order hates Syria and why they are attacking the country now. The New World Order is a plan to bring all nations under the control of one power. People might argue about who the real power is behind this agenda, but those who are observant will notice that this New World Order, or NWO, is the end game. Syria has always resisted and is the front lines against the New World Order. One of the ways that Syria resists is that Syria does not have a Rothschild central bank. A Rothschild central bank is a bank that has been bought by the Rothschild family, one of the richest and most powerful families in the world. It is a bank which is under the control of the Bank of International Settlements, which decides how much money is worth in a nation and how much debt a nation has. In Libya, one of the first things that happened after NATO took over that country is their central bank was turned into a Rothschild central bank. Another way in which Syria resists the New World Order is that it has no loan to the International Monetary Fund, or IMF. Syria, before the crisis began, was a totally debt-free country. If it has ever taken out loans, it was not to the IMF, but to a trusted ally like Russia. The first thing that Egypt's new President Morsi did when he came to power was saddle Egypt with $4 billion worth of IMF debt. Even though he claims to be a Muslim and Islam is against debt and interest. Because Syria owes no money to world powers, and her bank is free from foreign control, she is able to choose her own foreign policy. This is why Syria can oppose imperialism like in Palestine, Libya and Iraq, and ban genetically modified food. Syria has never had genetically modified food and has recently formalized this into law. Companies like Monsanto are among the war profiteers, or dogs of war. When Iraq was invaded, one of the first things that US's Bremer changed in the Iraqi constitution was to make it illegal for farmers to store their own seeds and force them to buy genetically modified seed from Monsanto. Genetically modified seeds are very expensive and carry a promise of being better than natural seeds. Many Indian farmers who bought the seeds and had their crops fail that year committed suicide because they had no money to buy new seeds from Monsanto and couldn't have saved their own seeds because they had entered a contractual agreement to purchase seeds from Monsanto. Famine reigned as a result. Controlling food supply is yet another constraint the New World Order uses to keep countries in check and bring them under the control of the one world government. Syria resists these steps to control her. Syrian state media doesn't shy away from discussions of secret societies. In Syria, talk of secret societies is not seen as a fringe conspiracy, but mainstream. Those that tell you it is not significant that two US presidential candidates, Bush and Kerry, were both members of the same tiny secret society, the Skull and Bones, are willingly blind. Oil and energy flow is yet another way in which the world powers bring nations to their knees, and yet another reason why Syria is a target. Syria recently discovered gas off its coast, and she was working on a new pipeline going through Iran, Iraq and Syria to Europe that would rival the BTC pipeline currently going through Israel. Forcing oil to pass through Israel through the BTC pipeline is the way in which the New World Order uses Israel as their hub of control of the oil flow between Europe, Asia and Africa. They can turn off the tap whenever they want, and that brings nations under their umbrella. Syria's attempt to give the world an alternative route for oil and gas could have been a way to free the world and put a wrench in the plans of the global dominators.
And I have spoken about this at length, but Syria is one of the last countries left that does not recognize the apartheid state of Israel and resists the Zionist agenda, which is a large part of the New World Order. This is one of the main reasons the New World Order sees Syria as an obstacle to its plans, and this point requires an individual video.
Another reason why the New World Order hates Syria is that it is a secular country in the Middle East. Afghanistan, Libya, Iraq, and much of North Africa were secular nations. But after the Iraq War, Iraq was given a more theocratic Shiite government. After the Arab Spring and the NATO bombardment of Libya, it was given a Wahhabi extremist government. And recently Egypt became a Muslim Brotherhood nation, another theocracy. And with Israel being the extremist Jewish theocracy in this region, Syria is really the last secular country left in the Middle East. In Syria, asking someone what their religion is insulting. And if an outsider asks you what it is, you can't help but feel a little bit defensive, and the common answer is, I am Syrian. All the prime religions have lived there in peace for hundreds of years, and with freedom to practice. Divide and conquer is a strategy which the world powers use to control nations, and Syria's unity has been a way to resist that. Syria has a very strong national and cultural identity. If you have ever traveled the world you will notice that you can find the same shops and the same culture being spread everywhere. You can find the same clothing item in a shop in Dubai that you can find in a shop in France. This is not the case for Syria. Syria holds on to its uniqueness and its own production. Coca-Cola and other foreign companies used to be banned in Syria, but years ago the current president unbanned them, which I believe was a huge mistake. Syria had its own cola production companies that were even more delicious, that had to close down as a result of Coca-Cola being unbanned. But these reforms really only went so far to open up Syria's economy, and Syria still resisted entry of foreign companies. And I think this is one of the other reasons that Syria is hated by the New World Order. Syria is one of the last countries that remain distinct from everywhere else, and I believe there's a clear New World Order agenda to make everywhere look pretty much the same, and thereby create no more nations and one world government. What a boring world that would be. The New World Order hates Syria because Syria is free. So Orwellian it is that they shout "Free Syria" when they really try to enslave her. If Syria falls, it could be a tipping point that ends up in victory for the New World Order, like Stalingrad was a tipping point between Germany and Russia in World War II. Syria resists in spite of all the massive power of the nations against her. She resists not just for herself, but for every free person. As I said earlier, Syria is the front lines against the New World Order. So fight alongside us until the end.
So thank you once again, Syrian girl. She told the story as it is. And what you have here is on another earlier video, we talked about Iceland becoming a role model bank for the world. They jailed their bankers, etc. They took care of their banking system. And here, you can think of it this way, is Syria, which is a role model country, literally fighting off the big guys and being successful now with the help of the Light Alliance through Russia and President Putin. And of course, in the regular news, Syria is bad. And of course, in the news, Israel is good. And of course, in the news, Saudi Arabia is wonderful. Now you can start to understand more so how the news, the regular news, is completely controlled by the bad guys. And thank you very much for watching. This is Tom from our YouTube channel, The Positive Side of 2012. And I've now shown you 3 or 4 videos in a row from different perspectives, different people. And collectively, they prove to you what's really going on in the Mideast.
Hello everybody. Yesterday there was another massacre committed against our people, our civilians, in east of Damascus, Bab Touma suburb. That's because of the missiles, rockets and mortar shells launched by the so-called moderate rebels in Al-Ghouta, the countryside of Damascus. And they are not moderate, they are Al-Nusra Front. However, for the mainstream media, they are the moderates. And the West and the Arab Gulf are still supplying those terrorist weapons. How? Sometimes under the cover of humanitarian aid, another time across the border, across Jordan, the southern front of Syria, which is an important supply line for those terrorists, and other times across Turkey. Most of these weapons, missiles, drugs, money, medical equipment, whatever the terrorists need to continue their aggression on our people, most of these weapons made in the US and in France. So, how to stop murdering Syrian? How to stop the life of the Syrian turn to hell? Why those the warmonger want our people to be martyrs or to be amputee and disabled? Yesterday it was a rush hour. Moreover, it was the hour for school students to be let out. So most of the victims were kids, were students, also young boys and girls, and to their teachers. 9 martyrs, 21 wounded in critical. A young girl maybe lose her legs, both of them, hopefully not. And why all that? Because they want to supply more and more weapons to those terrorists in Syria. I hope we can say stop murdering terrorists in Syria. 8 years of war is enough.
Hi everyone, it's Syrian Girl reporting. I want to bring your attention to some of the ways in which Syria has been raped and pillaged, her resources stolen by the dogs of war, NATO, Turkey and the Gulf Arab states, Qatar and Saudi Arabia. The very nations that have sparked and fueled the insurrection in Syria. Sometimes the theft is achieved through the help of the FSA insurgent parties, and sometimes it actually exploits the very same FSA parties. First of all, I'd like to talk about the theft of factory materials and structures. In November 2012, video footage showed the FSA transferring factory machinery and oil pumping equipment from Aleppo to Turkey.
Some 1,000 factories have been robbed in Syria's second largest city of Aleppo. The city, which is considered as Syria's commercial hub, is home to some 30,000 factories. The merchandise, ranging from machinery, equipment, vehicles to raw materials, are being taken away by armed gangs with the full knowledge and facilitation of the Turkish government.
قام أبطال لواء عاصفة الشمال بتحرير الشاحنات وحفارات البترول تابعات للدولة القطرية الشقيقة من عصابات الأسد، والآن سيتم عبورهم وتأمينهم من قبل لواء عاصفة الشمال إلى تركيا ومن ثم إلى دولة قطر الشقيقة.
As you heard, the FSA narrator claimed that the trucks and oil pumping equipment belonged to Qatar and that he was just returning them after liberating them from Assad. Of course, these are ludicrous lies. In reality, this equipment belongs to Syria and her people, not Qatar or Assad. The factory equipment is being stolen by Qatar and Turkey to recover the money spent on the war. More importantly, taking the oil pumping equipment is part of a post-war agenda to force Syria into outsourcing its oil pumping technology to foreign companies and no longer being self-reliant, just like what happened to Iraq. And on the topic of oil, the EU has lifted oil sanctions from Syria in order to buy it cheaply and fund Al-Qaeda. As this Guardian article says, the EU decision to lift Syrian oil sanctions to aid the opposition has accelerated a scramble for control over the wells and pipelines in rebel-held areas, consolidating the grip of jihadist groups. Jabhat al-Nusra control all the major oil wells in Deir Zur province, displacing local Sunni tribes, sometimes by force. So the conclusion of all this is that the EU is stealing the oil of the Syrian people and using that to fund Al-Qaeda. I spoke about this crime on 108 Morris 108's channel 5 months ago, and since then there's been extensive coverage about the rape and violence that Syrian girls and women are experiencing in the refugee camps, particularly in Jordan. There has been reports of kidnappings and rapes, but also the selling of the girls into fake marriages, which is tantamount to sanctified forced prostitution. These fake marriages only last a matter of weeks, and the girls are sold for very low prices. A lot of these girls are underage teenagers who get sold off to much older men from Gulf Arab states, specifically Saudi Arabia. NGOs supposedly helping the refugees are acting as pimps, taking a cut for selling the girls off. They call themselves marriage brokers. In a report by the BBC titled Syrian Women for Sale, one of these marriage brokers states, "The men are usually between 50 and 80, and they ask for girls who have white skin and blue or green eyes. They want them very young, no older than 16.
17-year-old Aya fled Syria with her family just under a year ago. She was sold to a 70-year-old man from Saudi Arabia for $3,500. He left her after a month. This month was like a nightmare. I spent half of it crying.
Do you feel ashamed by what's happened to you?
Yes, very. This feeling really never leaves me, she said. If I could only go back in time, just 1 month. But for Aya, her innocence lost and her country at war, there is no going back.
Forced prostitution in war is rape, and mark my words, the Gulf Arab states are at war with Syria. Often it is a way to force one's culture or ethnicity onto another's. Ironically, many of these girls are from the family members of the FSA fighters themselves. Some aren't, but it is just another way that they have been used by the Gulf states, busy killing their own Syrian brothers, while their women are being taken advantage of by the very people that are supposed to be helping them. This is a terrible fate for Syrian women who have a high status in Syrian society and enjoy the same rights as men do. Organ trafficking is taking place on the Syria-Turkey border. FSA field hospitals knowingly or unknowingly transfer injured Syrians to certain Turkish hospitals where their organs are harvested. Sometimes the wounded are from the FSA ranks themselves. They are being exploited by the very state that is supposedly helping them. When people think organ trafficking, usually they imagine that organs are stolen from a dead body. This is not true. In fact, for an organ to be viable for transplant, the patient has to be on the verge of death. That is, they have to be brain dead and on life support. This is because as soon as the body dies, the organ also begins to die very quickly. In this case, Turkey has been harvesting the organs of the living by murdering them. The mainstream media of the West have not covered these stories yet, but it has hit Turkish, Russian, Lebanese and Syrian news agencies. One of the original reports comes from the Turkish newspaper Yurt, which claims that some members of the FSA have a working relationship with organ traffickers in Turkey to bring them victims for harvesting. On this website, Syrian News CC, 3 accounts of organ trafficking are given, complete with death certificates. My cousin was shot in his right shoulder and chest. We took him to Al Zarzur Field Hospital in Al Ansari with the help of an FSA group run by Sultan Muhammad Al-Fatah. The staff at the hospital refused to treat him, saying they don't have room for him. He was moved to Martyr Kemal Hospital in Turkey on the 11th of the 11th, 2012. He died 4 days later. He had 2 surgeries. The first was a success. The second was ordered by Dr. Murad Kozal on the 14th of the 11th, 2012. After the second operation, Jassim's father noticed wounds in the abdomen area, not in the injured area. Jassim died less than hours later. After the events in Haiti, it is widely known that Israel has one of the largest underground organ trafficking rings in the world. Perhaps the newly strengthened ties between Turkey and Israel is related to this. In the Iraq War, one of the first crimes that took place is the looting of ancient artifacts. This
This has been happening for centuries. In the Louvre, Paris, you will find much Egyptian and Syrian artifacts, and in Berlin's museum you will find the gates of Babylon that belong to Iraq. The Levant region, including Iraq, is the origin of the earliest recorded civilizations. Our artifacts are as old as time, and they are priceless. They say anywhere you dig in Syria, you will find artifacts. They are part of our history and our identity, but that has not stopped the FSA from selling them to buy weapons. I'm going to use articles from the US media itself, because then it cannot be accused of being anti-insurgent propaganda, because the US media has been supporting the rebels since day one, which everybody can attest to. This Washington Post article describes how the FSA would dig up artifacts and sell them in the black market to buy guns. Quote, "Some days we are fighters, others we are archaeologists," says one. And here in the Times, one smuggler says, "We buy antiques cheap and then sell weapons expensively." He claims the FSA told him they had developed an association of diggers, selling out their country cheaply for weapons. Some news items say the artifacts are smuggled into Israel and the US museums and are worth up to $2 billion. This is similar to what happened in the Iraq War. Looters would sell at cost to a middleman, which would then sell the artifacts to the US and Israel. Much of Iraq's artifacts are now being found under auction in New York and in Israeli museums. Iraq is now requesting Israel return the ancient Torah scroll, which has ended up in Israel. The head of Iraq's Heritage and Antiquities, Donny George, was making a documentary about these crimes, but died suddenly within days of his producer, Lina Yakubova, who also died suddenly. The powers that be have made sure the FSA would remain desperate enough to drive them to this treason, pawns in a game to destroy Syria. But while the FSA is selling out their country's history, Jabhat al-Nusra is simply destroying it. In this video, they bulldoze a historic mausoleum for the Prophet Abraham in the town of Ain al-Arrus in Raqqa, which Jabhat al-Nusra controls a part of. In Islam, Abraham is a prophet and father of monotheistic religion, but the Wahhabi sect to which these people belong believe that above-ground graves lead to worship of false idols. They accuse pilgrims to the shrine of practicing paganism, and much like their Taliban counterparts, destroy the ancient Buddhist statues in Afghanistan. They have no regard for the historical status. In the 1,000 years Muslim society existed in these lands, no one thought to destroy these ancient artifacts. But Wahhabism is a recent phenomenon. This theft is not just about stealing money, but stealing history and culture and a nation's identity. I'm reminded of the fact Turkey and Saudi Arabia are destroying historical sites to put in shopping centers. There is an agenda to make everywhere look the same, remove evidence of the past, and do away with national identity. Furthermore, some lunatics in the world governments believe that the ancient artifacts provide them with occult powers. The pillagers of Syria must be brought to account, the traitors punished, and our dignity restored. This has been Syrian Girl. Please subscribe for more news.
Shalom. It's your brother Malcolm, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh by Hashem Havashai, by Hashem Rakah Kadash. Alright, double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of all Israel, set up on earth today. And salutations to my fellow laborers, my Akim, my brethren, the confusion of face brethren, who do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. And to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to them I say Shalom. Just another lesson in truth. Okay, was watching a bunch of different videos. There are lots of things happening that are leading up to the final conflict, which is going to be the war that ends all wars, which also ushers in the kingdom of heaven, in which who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, all right, Yahweh Shai, the Lord and King of Israel, all right, you know, the Savior of Israel, in his rulership. All right, which he's going to set up King David and the 12 tribes, you know, as rulers over all the earth. That's the kingdom of heaven, and they're going to rule forever. That's what the Bible says. It says nothing any different. Okay. But I was just watching videos on how the Chinese are doing things that, you know, or Moab are doing things that Esau did. They're setting up bases and military outposts in other countries, all leading up to the destruction of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right. The Chinese are setting up military bases in Pakistan. All right. Or is it in India? I forget just which. I can't remember. But nevertheless, you have to remember, India is part of the BRICS, is a part of the Shanghai, you know, deal with China. So with them setting up, yeah, it's Pakistan where they're setting it up. Now that I remember now, yeah, it was in Pakistan. So that's prophecy being fulfilled. You know, the nations are gathering in the valley of Jehosaphat. All right, you also have the Turks are mobilizing their troops to the border of Syria. So all the nations are going there. So it's just a matter of time. And you got to remember, the so-called white man here in America, Esau, Edom, he's running out of time because the dollar is close to collapsing. You got to, and proof in the pudding is just to look at the prices of food and the prices of everything. All right, how it's just skyrocketing because hyperinflation is well on its way. All right, you just had, without notice, 650 more major stores closed. Sam's Club, which is owned by Walmart, man. 650 stores with an average of 175 employees each store, man. So those are people who are now without a source of income, which is going to put a further strain on the system, trying to get unemployment and all that other stuff, man. No, that's over 100,000 people, man, out of work. You know, they still have bills. They have to pay the phone bills. You know, the phones get cut off. You have no communication. You got to pay your rent, your mortgage. You know, your car payments, your lights, your gas. You got to buy food, child support, alimony, whatever their hangups, whatever their issues may be. They have no source of income. Okay? So let me just read this real quick. This is Habakkuk 2. And I'm going to read verses 1 through 3. And it reads, "And I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. And we will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what shall I answer when I am reproved? And Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, and we're watching it come." All these things were written beforehand. We were speaking them in this current time beforehand, and now they're happening every day in the daily news for those who have had eyes to see and those whose eyes that are open, man. It is literally happening. Okay? So I'm going to pull up a video that I recorded of Stephen Benoon. All right? And of Israeli News Live. Let me pull up this video. It's about 2 minutes long. All right, let me cue it up and get it ready. Okay, got that. And let me and then I'm gonna read a couple scriptures after that. This is gonna be a long video. It's gonna be straight to the point. Okay. Alrighty, let's open up the camera. This is my old phone, so let's let it play. Let you hear what's going on. All right, now remember, you got China with 2 different bases in 2 different foreign countries now, opposing NATO and the U.S. All right, and now this. Let's let it play.
Any threat after U.S. announces this Kurdish border force in Syria. Turkey is making very good on that threat there. On our good friend Lorenzo here will already happen. He's posted this video right here. Massive amounts of Turkish forces are racing to the border of Turkey and Syria. Tanks, everything you can imagine. looks like Turkey is getting ready to take on the Kurds. And I guess the U.S. is truly becoming an enemy of Turkey as we go there. Now, speaking of that, let me just...
You hear that? Said America is becoming an enemy of Turkey. That would mean the Israelis as well.
Back up just a moment. A few days ago, we were talking about Turkey. We were talking about Turkey as being the ones involved in backing al-Nusra. We found out later it was al-Nusra that attacked the Russian base, the Himyim base, and of course the Tartus base there on the coastline, their naval port. Russia later comes back. President Putin actually says it was never Turkey that did it. But as we reported it, if you go back and look at the footage that we showed on this, one, we were actually showing you the very articles that were out there where the Russian government contacted Turkey because al-Nusra is a rebel group that has been fighting against the Syrian government that the Turkish government has been backing from the very beginning. So I recontacted my source after that story began to change, especially with President Putin saying it wasn't Turkey. And as he said, we know who's doing it. We know who funded them. We know how much money they paid in order to put these drones on us. I checked with my source. I said, now, I'm not seeing anybody saying anything as of yet, and President Putin didn't seem to indicate who it was, other than we had the one article of the U.S. spy plane flying overhead, but there have been some that have suggested that Israel was involved. So I asked him, is it possible that Israel was involved? Because after all, I did see two articles, and I don't have those here today. I'll try to bring them out tomorrow when I do that.
So Israel was definitely involved, man. All right. The Israelis were helped because the Israelis had interest in getting Syria because they want the oil that's in that land. All right. So let's get a couple scriptures and finish this out. This is Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare, and I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. And see, Esau has hidden himself behind the cloak of whiteness. He's been saying that he's white, that he's Caucasian, that he's European, that he's Jewish. All right. And now he's exposed. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So that part is yet to come. They're going to be not, because they're going to be basically genocide is going to be performed on them, and they will become the first race that is actually exterminated off the face of the earth. And it's already kind of happening through natural selection. It's like Darwinism in reverse, except Darwinism didn't work in their favor because they're dying off from cancer and, you know, and low sperm counts and lack of births and all that other thing. That's why they're so angry and declaring war on the planet, man. All right. If you want to dispute that, just look up the numbers, man. Look up the studies here in America, how they're dying off, how they're not having babies, and more of them are dying. They're dying faster than they're being born. And then now they keep having these studies how in the year 2040 or 2050 that, you know, the like 90% of the people in America will be ethnic or have, you know, melanated skin. And if it were to go on, that would be true. But no, after if it was to go on, Esau would kill everybody, including himself. All right. Verse 11, 49:11 of Jeremiah. Leave thy fatherless children. I will preserve them alive, and let the widows trust in me. And your women. All right. Your women are trusting in the men of the Lord. They will, because they're going to become concubines and things of that nature, man. All right. Chambermaids. All right. And that's kind of happening already, too. You can already, soon as a so-called Negro gets money, the Edomite women flock to them. Just look at the NBA, the NFL, all professional sports. All those Jakes have Edomite women. All right. Because the truth of the matter is that's proof in the pudding that Edomite women really desire to be with Jake. They just don't want to give up that comfortability. All right. That they have being protected under Edomite supremacy, which is failing. So as soon as they come across a Jake with money, that's their true desire. So that's who they go with. And the number of women that date Jakes, professional, that marry and become concubines to Jakes in professional sports is evidence of what I just said, man. All right. Verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken it. So Jacob, we drink that cup of slavery, of destruction, of self-hate, of being put on the bottom. And are thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Because the so-called white man seems like nothing has happened to him for all the atrocities that he's done. And then he has this, oh, just get over it. That was in the past. But no, you live now currently, your future. You live the way you live because of those accounts. All right. And it says, but thou shalt surely drink of it. So you're going to drink of that cup of wrath. You're going to drink of that slavery, of that being brought low, of becoming a byword. All right. Of becoming hated of all the other nations and looked down upon and frowned upon. Because truth of the matter is, you're the real niggers. Okay. Verse 13. But I have sworn by myself. The Lord sworn by himself. But yet you still got idiots out there, these fake Christian sets, that want to teach that everybody can make it and God loves all. Because he just sworn by himself, by his own name, that he's going to destroy the Edomite race, which walks around the earth referring to themselves as white or Caucasian today. All right. But I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Basra, all right, shall become a desolation, a reproach, and a race, and a curse, and all the cities thereof a perpetual waste. And when you go into William Beeston's book, 1853, The Roman Kingdom of the Edomite, page 9, it clearly tells you that Basra was talking about the accursed Jews, the Idumeans, all right, the people those Herodians who will call themselves Jewish during the Roman Empire, but the Romans themselves were also Edomites. So it tells you that Basra is referring to the Romans, the Jewish people. All right. The Herodians, the converts way back then. All right. The Jewish people of the day are just a rebirth of those same converts. They converted to being Jewish, which has nothing to do with being an Israelite, because the Jewish, their book and the core of Judaism is the Talmud. All right. And the real Israelites, they follow the Bible and the Bible only. Okay. And this is the end result of all that. This is Joel, the 3rd chapter. It says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. All right. Meaning he's bringing it back. Okay. All right. He's setting them free, basically. All right. And I will also gather the nations, all the nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehosaphat. And this is where all the nations are gathering. I just gave you all the proof and the evidence of it from the videos and what's happening in current events, which you don't see on the news, mainly in America. That's why Americans don't know anything. Okay. And I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehosaphat, and I will plead with them. All right. For my people, for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And that's exactly what they did. All right. You got Palestinians who are Ishmaelites, who they're not the real Palestinians. The real Palestinians go back to the word Philistines. The Philistines were so-called Africans, Hamites. All right. And then you have the fake Jews over there. So they parted the Holy Land and scattered his people. The real Israelites have been scattered to the four corners of the earth. And now they've woken up to who they are. And this spells destruction and the end of the so-called white man. All right. His power structures are failing him all over the earth. He's on the verge of war. All right. And it's over. So with that, I'm going to say all praise, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh Bashem Nabashai and Abad Babal.
First and foremost, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We're also going to give double honors to our apostles and our elders at Great Millstone, who teach and rule well in the scriptures. And salutations to all the Akim out there that push his word in all truth and all sincerity. And we're going to get into a quick lesson about Amalek, the so-called Jewish people of today. And we were talking about them throughout our travels today because, you know, we had to encounter some of them. We were just talking about how they're deceptive. They rip people off. They rob, they steal, murder, etc., man. They even do that to their own people. Oh, yeah, yeah, because they got the other Edomites in slavery. Okay, and that's you know, that's how you know Esau ain't shit, man. How do you have your own fellow brother in slavery? Yep. What's that? So you gonna get that Ciroc? Yeah. Yep. You know, if somebody can't do good to themselves, how can they be good to anyone else, man? God. So you can't expect anything from this man. He won't treat himself well. So how is he going to treat you well? So for you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, you Israelites, if you still trust in this system, you're going to be destroyed with it.
Yep, that's Isaiah 13 and 15 said they that join onto them should fall by the sword. So you're going to get the same judgment as the heathens going to get judged. How the heathens going to get judged, you're going to get judged right with them, man.
That's right.
You know, this is Sirach 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
Yeah, that's straight to the point, man. Hey, he that's evil to himself, whom could he be good to? Alright, no one. It's a rhetorical question.
Yep.
You know, and that's Esau right there. They can't do good unto themselves, nor their own race. So, do you expect them to actually play fair to you Israelites?
Right, definitely hate y'all, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and shit, like I say, you know, here's their kingdom. How the hell you Edomite and you struggling in your own damn kingdom, man? But you got Amalek, elite bank families, they keeping the wealth to their damn self. They ain't sharing with y'all, man.
Yep.
All right.
Even those lower level Amalekites too, man.
Yep.
They sit there and you know, they open up businesses. They have you know, like trade. What do you call that? What's the word I'm looking for, man? Basically, they get a good word in, you know, with the banks and other business partners, man. But they don't share that same opportunity with the other Edomites, man.
That's why
it's crazy, man.
You know, just like you know, Esau had like 12 tribes out of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like Judah called the hardest. Yeah, they don't catch the hardest in the kingdom of heaven. You gonna have other Edomites whooping their ass, man, because they gonna remember you not sharing the wealth with them, man.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, it tells us in the scriptures, man. What is that in Deuteronomy, man? That the head shall be the tail.
Yep.
The tail shall be the head. So the Lord's gonna, you know, put everything in its proper order. Yep. So the head of everything is first and foremost, obviously, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And then the top nation is Israel. But out of the nation of Israel, the top tribe is Judah. So Judah's going to be put to the forefront and exalted again. And who's the basis nation? It's Esau. And their top tribe is Amalek. So Amalek's going all the way down to the very end, man.
Yep.
Once the kingdom of heaven is established.
Yep.
It's going to be beautiful seeing their own brothers killing each other, man.
Yep. You gonna go back to that low state, man. You know. It says, yeah, it says he that is evil to himself. This is Sirach 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He should not take pleasure in his goods. All right.
I got this in Exodus 17 and 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar, and the name of it was, well, we know it's Yahweh Nisai. For he said, because the Lord Yahweh hath sworn that, Salaki says, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. You know, in Amalek, hey, they attacked us. They basically blindsided. What do you call it? They hit us, you know, when we were blind. Yeah, blindsided. Yep, blindsided, man. You know, we were traveling in the desert. We were just trying to bypass, and they were giving us a hard time. And when we were, you know, going another route, doing what we had to do, they attacked us from behind, man.
Yep, like little bitches they are, man.
Yep, we were weak, you know, faint, fatigued, and then they wanted to, you know, come at us in our low point, man. And we still whooped their ass, man, through the spirit of power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Okay? And that's what the Lord's going to do again, man. The Lord's going to put the spirit on the elect, and we're going to fuck you Amalekites up, man, in due time. I'll just go around them. Oh, actually, no, right here's cool. You know, we're going to fuck you up in due time. Hey, we're in our lowest point right now, and the Lord's going to exalt us once again, man. Okay? It's going to come very, very soon. And Amalek is going to get the worst, man. You so-called Jews are going to get the worst slavery, man, and captivity.
Yup. God. Let's see.
You know, and the Lord has a controversy with you, man. That's why I said the Lord will have war with you from generation to generation. Okay? And the Lord's going to use his people, man, to bring your ass down, man. God. To execute that judgment.
God. Yeah, this you had the scripture Numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. You ready? Go ahead and read that.
Oh, Numbers chapter 24, verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. You know what I mean? Because once he starts drinking this cup, you know, with the drugs and all, and he serves his 1,000 years of slavery, at the very end, he's gonna be wiped out. You know what I'm saying? How he tried to erase it. You know, how he tried to erase Israel. He himself is gonna have that same judgment that he wished upon us. He's gonna actually receive it.
That's right. Double unto them.
Right.
They tried to eradicate us. So what are they gonna get? Actual extinction, man.
Yeah, just like what what was his name? Haman and Mordecai.
Oh, man, that motherfucker.
Yeah, you try to build gallows to hang Mordecai.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting his family ended up getting hanged. So whatever Esau tried to do to come at us, try to exterminate us, whatever, it always returned upon his own head, man. Alright. So this is had a precept that had it, you know, say I think 30,000 years. This is Obadiah 15 verse. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. The day of the Lord is near upon all the heathens. All right, not just Esau, all you heathen nations. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. Ain't that something? Did I just say that? For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, which is Israel, so shall all the heathen drink continually. And all these heathen nations had us in captivity at some point in time, man.
Oh, right. I got,
you know. So yeah, so it's payback coming. Not just you damn Edomites, you fucking Chinese gooks, which Moab. Got them Japanese, Ammon, you East Indians, Elam,
right?
All you heathen nations outside of the nation of Israel, which consists of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. It said, for ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, which that cup, this proves right here, the cup represents slavery, man. All right. It said, ye shall drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. So all you heathen nations, you're going in captivity. You had the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American captivity. You're going to be in captivity. So that shows you the Lord is about payback, man. All right. It says, but upon Mount Zion, which is Israel, which Zion means monument, which means to remember. Upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. So where's everybody? Where's all nation being delivered in that, man? It says upon Mount Zion, that's Israel, man, shall be deliverance. The only salvation is for the Israelites, starting with the elect, man. All right. So that's another proof right there that deliverance is only salvation only granted to the nation of Israel, man. All right. It said, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness. And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph, which represents Ephraim, which is so-called Puerto Ricans, you know, the northern kingdom. All right. And the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and shall devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. So, like brother said, once you serve your 1,000 years of payback and slavery, you Edomites, you Amalek, and all you Edomites, man. Like the top being Amalek, you know, which they call themselves Jews. They ain't really not the real Jews. They imposter. They phony. You know, once y'all serve y'all 1,000 years, like I said in Obadiah 1:18, you're gonna be gathered up and burnt, man. There'll be no damn pale face, hunky ass crackers walking around, man. And I had this last one, this Jeremiah 49:12. For thus said the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken, which is Israel. We drunk of that cup, you know. We served our punishment, you know. And art thou that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished. These devils think they ain't gonna pay for all the atrocities, all the crimes, rape, rob, murder they committed on our people. They really have in their head they ain't gonna pay. But as according to this scripture say, you should not go unpunished, man. The Lord kept record of all the shit you done, still doing to this day, and what you plan on doing in the future. The Lord keeping track of all that. You're gonna pay for all that, man. That's why you're gonna get double when it's time for you to pay, man. Which is right around the corner, man. You know, it says, "Thou shalt not go unpunished. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it." So you're gonna drink of that cup. Y'all going into slavery, man. All right, thus said the Bible. All right, which, you know, you can't upset prophecy, anything, man. Everything written in the Bible is gonna come to pass, including you going to slavery. The scriptures say you're going to slavery. That's gonna come to pass, man. All right, it says, "Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. For I have sworn upon myself, said the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation." And that's the city. That's the city Esau dwelt in. All right, Basra, the chief city. Yeah, the chief city. Right, Basra should be a desolation. What does the scripture say? Well, the people is, well, the place of the people. I believe.
It's one in Maccabees and it was one in Ezekiel. Let me find that for you, Ak.
The people is a place, something like that. So Basra is Esau, man. You Edomites, man. All right. Basra is you Edomites, man. It says, "For I have sworn by myself, said the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities there should be a perpetual waste," man. So yeah, this place, America, is gonna be destroyed, man.
Okay.
Hey, go ahead, brother.
This to back you up, this is Amos 1 verse 11 and 12. Thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, because, you know, like you said, the Lord has a record of everything, right? Yeah. For 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword. So who is that? That's Esau, Edom. Their blessing is the sword in Genesis 27.
Yeah, and then brother is Jacob, man.
Yeah,
Jacob,
Yeah,
you know, yeah. Which, hey, they was fighting in the womb. So that proved, hey, you niggas trying to look for Esau, and when we gonna come? When so-called blacks, Latino, Native Americans, Esau gonna get along with each other? Never.
Right.
Shit has never happened in history.
Right.
Never, man.
Never. It's never gonna happen, man. Lord set it up for y'all to be enemies, man. All right. So you're never gonna get along, man. It's never gonna happen. You look. That's a false hope, man.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Back in Amos 1 and 11. In the middle, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually.
Which I tell you, James 2 and 13, that them that show no mercy shall have no mercy.
Oh, right.
Because they show no mercy, they not going to get mercy.
Go ahead. And his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Basra. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's today. That's modern day America. You know what I'm saying? So that 200 million missiles, you know, 200,000 ICBM is coming to America. Yeah, real soon.
It's gonna be a waste, a desert.
Right.
Desert-like creatures.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's the way we're gonna clean this place up. You know.
Yeah, the missile. You see, you pollute the air. Guess what? The Lord has missile to clean air back up again, man.
All that smoke and all this is gonna purify the air, man.
Right, exactly.
The Lord, he's the ultimate chess player, man.
Exactly.
no matter what you try to do, the Lord is gonna sit there and have a cure for it.
Gotcha.
You know, gonna have a cure for it, man. Cause you know, hey, this like the brother said, that the air is gonna get clean, the water is gonna get clean.
Yep.
You know, everything's gonna get clean, man. Because even though all the bodies that are they're gonna be round about, they're gonna be that you know, dead corpses, they're gonna be used as fertilizer, man, to replenish the earth, man.
Yep.
To get it to its full strength again.
Mm-hmm. That's why things that's up, the Lord gonna turn things back right again.
Yep.
That Esau turned upside down, man.
That's right.
You know.
I got that in the Maccabees for you.
Was there more to that?
Oh no, those are those
okay. Go ahead, brother.
I got 2 Maccabees 5:19. Nevertheless, the Most High did not choose the people for the place sake, but the place for the people's sake.
Yep. So wherever Esau dwelled, that's Basra. Like I said, Basra. That's the land Esau dwelled. But read that again. Wherever the people
is
place.
2 Maccabees 5:19. Nevertheless, the Most High did not choose the people for the place's sake, but the place for the people's sake.
Yep. Con. So Esau's land now is America.
Yep.
All right. Because he dwelt, you know, he stole his land from Gad and Reuben. You know, so Lord is gonna destroy this place called America. Now this scripture now was talking about a waste. Basra should be a place, a waste, and the curse of all the cities thereof. That's talking about America, man.
Yeah, because this is their chief, their modern day, I guess you could say, chief city, man.
The water.
Okay. They, you know, back in the ancient world, it was Basra, but now it's modern day America, man.
Yep.
Okay, because this is where, I guess you could say everything comes out of America. All the philosophies, ideologies, you know, the trade, all that shit, man. Comes out of here, not the Vatican.
Exactly.
You know? I got Psalms 83.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, this is Psalms 83. And we'll start at 1. Psalms 83:1. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate me have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what these nations have done. Starting with Esau, Edom. Starting not only with just Esau, Edom. Who's the top of Esau, Edom? Amalek.
Amalek, yep.
Okay.
They, like say, financed some slave ships.
Yep.
Them names go back. The names of them ship go back to the damn fake ass Jews, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Ship of Levi.
Yep, Levi. Yep.
You know, Judah, Benjamin.
Matter of fact, I think where's my phone at, man?
I'm sure there's you know, all sorts of.
Yeah, I actually got the article on my phone.
Oh, you got the article? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you know. Perfect. Perfect. Let me see. Let me go back, Salaki. See how Satan tried to operate, trying to throw me off. Damn.
I'm gonna keep reading.
Go ahead, brother.
This is Psalms 83:4 now. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. And that's what they've tried to do. You know, and they were successful for a long period of time, man. You know, we didn't know that we were Israelites. We were calling ourselves, you know, blacks, you know, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, you know, Venezuelans. All right, so on and so forth. But now through the spirit of power, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, He's giving our nationality back to us, man. Okay, now we're calling ourselves Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Ephraim, you know, Issachar, you know, so on and so forth, man. Asher. Okay. And it says, so that's what they have done, okay? And that's why they're gonna get that double, man. That's why they're gonna get that extermination. Rightfully so.
Yep.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. So these are your enemies, Israelites. We're going to break it down for you. Well, the Bible is, but we're going to break down each nation through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Shai. The tabernacles of Edom, which is the so-called white man.
Yep.
And the Ishmaelites.
The Arabs. At your local corn store and your chicken spot.
Yeah, that you call Aki.
Yeah.
Okay? That ain't your brother, man. That's your enemy.
That's your enemy, man.
Alright? He's selling you bogus chicken.
Fucking your woman.
Fucking your women. Selling you fucking cigarellos, man.
If you so much your bro, why he don't live next door to you, man? He take all your damn money and go out. So, you know what I'm trying to say. You go all the way to the suburbs, man.
Oh yeah. Their kids are driving the BMWs.
Yep.
The Lexuses. Alright, they got a nice, nice house, big yard.
Yep.
And they're feeding you trash in the hood.
Mm-hmm. Making money off it.
And even if, let's just say, you deal with them and you don't live in the hood, they're stealing your ideas. They're making profit off of you, man.
Yep.
Okay? You have all these great ideas and inventions, and all they do is give you the crumbs off of your product, man. Okay?
Yep. Yep, exactly.
And it says of Moab, the Chinese, okay, the ones that are feeding you rats and dogs, okay, and saying that this is Kung Pao chicken, man. Alright? Selling you bogus ass weaves.
Yep.
Fake ass silk garments and Gucci bags.
Yep.
Alright? Those are your enemies too, man.
Chinese, yep. Moab.
And the Hagarenes, which are a sect of the Ishmaelites, okay? Gabal, which is a sect of Esau when you look into it. And Ammon, which is
Japanese.
Yeah, the Japanese. Yeah, they might sell you a fucking PlayStation 4, man, but they ain't, your friend, man. Alright?
Right, exactly.
And Amalek.
God damn.
So specify Amalek out of all the Edomite tribes. You fake Jews, okay?
When they call it
you rat Jew. Bastards. That's why they call you kites, man. Goes back to Amalekite. Really, it's not even a racist term, man. Because they'll say, oh, that's anti-Semitic. Semitic. It's Shem, asshole. Alright?
Okay.
But even somebody calling you a kite, that's not even, how is that even a racist statement? They're just shortening up your actual true national identity, man. Which is Amalek.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking asshole. Yeah, it says the Philistines, you Africans, with the inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur, which what is that? Was that Assyrian? I think Ashur is Assyrian, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, kind of.
And it says also is joined with them. Yeah, so
say the Hamites, which is the Africans, which you Negroes are not.
Oh yeah, gotta add that.
All right, you're not Africans, man.
All right,
you're Israelites, man. You got this damn fake devil talking about you sold your own people to slavery. No, the Africans, the Hamites sold you to slavery. Two different race of people, man. All right, you so-called Negroes here are not Africans.
All
right.
Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Going back to Moab and Ammon. Salah. So those are your enemies. Those are your... Oh, I'm going to keep reading. It says, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, and to Jabin at the brook of Kishon. And when you go into the history of that, what did the Israelites do, man? They slaughtered their ass, man. They slaughtered the Midianites. Alright, because the Lord commanded us to, because they were doing wickedly in the land of Canaan, okay, which is modern day Israel. Alright? So we're going to do that again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. That's why we stated earlier that the Lord is going to use his people to execute judgment on you motherfuckers, man.
And by the record, Canaan was all, the Lord already was planning on giving that to that land Canaan, which is Israel, to us, Israel,
That's
man.
right.
Because they went back to what was it, Ham, that curse that was put on him.
Oh yeah, Genesis.
Looking at Noah's nakedness when he was drunk.
That's right.
All right. Well, that was it on that. So yeah, pretty much all these heathen nations are you so-called Neo-Latino Native Americans enemies. All of them, man. They're all your enemies. And King David said, the number of my enemies is the number of the hairs on my head, man. All right. You got a lot of hairs on your head, so it's a lot of, you have a lot of enemies, man.
Right.
All right. So, go ahead, girl.
This First Maccabees chapter 2 verse 10. What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? You know what I'm saying? Because we just read Psalms 83 showing you that the enemies of the Most High, Yahweh, and his people, right? Personal pronoun, his people, you know, Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And now in First Maccabees, here, chapter 2 and verse 10, is telling you what nation, you know, have not had a part of us in their kingdom. You know, we built up all the other kingdoms that were here before, and the one that we currently live in, you know, that you 2/3 love so much, America, you know, and they gave us no credit for it. There's a scripture on that where he didn't give an account for our labors or something.
Yes, Wisdom Psalm 5, I believe.
But, you know, just like the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, you other heathen nations, you Moabites, Ammonites, you know, the Hamites, you guys are going to pay too.
Yeah, y'all going, right. It said judgment. I read about judgment upon all the heathen, man.
All the heathen, right.
Well, every last one of you going to slavery, man. It just, Esau, Amalek, they don't get the worst, man.
All right. Yeah, they're not going to get mercy at the end.
Right.
Beautiful.
Kind. That was it on that.
Kind.
You had any other scripture?
Yes.
I read this last one, then we end it. No, I got a couple more. Real plain, man. Because, matter of fact, I forgot to read this Jewwatch.com. This read this article on Jewwatch.com. It says below is the list of the Jewish slave ships and the Jewish owners of them. It said Jewish slave ship owners. Abigail, which was owned by fucking Aaron Lopez. Fucking Spaniards.
Yeah, Spanish Khazar. Man.
Yeah, yep, Spanish Khazar.
Yeah, because you have a lot of them Khazars that dwelt in Spain, Italy, Greece.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly, bro.
You know, you just change your name, man.
Yeah, that's what they known for doing. Yup.
Exactly. That's all you do is just change your last names. All right. Hey, but the Lord knows who's who, man. He knows all spirits. All right.
It said nobody's here from them, man.
That's right.
All right. It said Abiel was Then you look at ethnicity. They got the name of ship owners, ethnicity, Jews. They're all Jews.
Yep. Yeah, Levi.
Yeah, or
Levi.
Yep. It said Abigail was owners are Aaron Lopez, Moses Levy, Frank Isaac Levy, and Nathan Simpson. Crown Moses Levy, Nassau from Moses Levy, 4 sisters, Justice Bosch and John Abrams, Annie and Eliza, Henry Kruger and Jacob Phoenix, Prudent Betty, Mordecai and David Gomez, Hester, Mordecai and David Gomez, Elizabeth, Nathan Marston, and Abram Lil, if I'm pronouncing them. But these are all fake ass Jews, man. All right. I don't want to read through all of it, man. But get the point, man. These fake ass Jews own these slave ships, man. That you Negroes were put on, man, and brung here to serve slavery, man.
Yep.
All All right.
Shit, even the Northern Kingdom.
The Northern Kingdom too, yeah.
Because you Hispanics and natives, man, went to Europe.
Yeah,
they shipped your ass to Europe, and you were gifts to Queen Isabella.
Oh yeah, they
King
was first
Ferdinand.
ones.
All right, can't forget that, because they like to block out that history. They don't like to talk about it because they don't want to have us to have a connection with each other.
Yeah, they wanted to keep you divided. How you think only Negroes went to slavery, man? All right, on slave ships, man. Yeah. And matter of fact, the Northern Kingdom, they was the first ones to go into captivity. Yep. And then Esau, the guy in the Southern Kingdom, yep. And history always happened like that. The Northern Kingdom always go to slavery first, man. All right. Yeah, through latter end 1400s, man. Christopher Columbus brung his ass, but he didn't discover a goddamn thing, man. You know, hell, man, going back to Solomon. Solomon was sending them Hamites over here to gather material stuff, man. You fake, you ain't discovered shit, man, you damn devils. You had this damn stupid ass Columbus Day. It's a damn joke, man. Christopher Columbus, which he was a fake ass Jew too, his ass going to slavery too, get his ass beat. All right. Fuck some goddamn Christopher Columbus, man. But anyway, this is reading these last two scriptures. We can end it right there. Exodus 21:16. He that stealeth the man and selleth him, or if he be found to his hand, he shall surely be put to death. So this was gonna happen. You so-called white people, you stole a man and selleth the man, man. That's what you did, man. Or if he be found to his hand, we still found to you damn devil's hands to this day, man. All right, as we speaking, man. You should. It says he should surely be put to death. I'm gonna go over to Revelation 13:9 and 10. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And we just said earlier, Esau's blessing with the sword. Isaac gave him that blessing, man. It said, you killed with the sword, you must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints, man. Who are the saints, man? These so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, starting with the elect, man. Read Psalms 148, 13, 14. That's one scripture proving who the saints are, man. All right, it's Israel, starting with the elect, man. We patiently waiting for the Lord to bring you goddamn devils down, man. All right. So that was it on that. I don't know if y'all had anything else. No, okay. So yeah, man. You know, judgment's coming for you, damn devil. You can think all day that you got away with something, but the Lord keeping record of everything. You really didn't get away with any damn thing, man. The Lord just waiting, you know. Lord just have a day when He gonna make you pay for all the shit you done and doing. All right, that's all it is. And we said it's the worst thing. That's the worst thing that happened to you. For the Lord to let your wickedness build up, man.
Right. Harsher judgment. Yeah,
harsher judgment. Exactly. Harsher judgment, man. Because you ain't get away with nothing, man. All right. It'd been better if the Lord just got you back right then and there, man. let shit build up, man. So Esau think he cute, think he got away with something. No, it ain't cute, man. It's actually fucked up. Lord, let your shit build up. All right, so with that, give all praise, honor, glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai.
Double honors to the apostle elders, great millstone, and salutations to Sasakim, pushing his word, sincerity, truth, and charity. With that, say shalom.
Shalom.